Hello there. Welcome to the Kirk Minahan wrap-up show for August 8th, 2022. Today's show was top 5. Kirk finishes top 5 at the main mini golf tournament yesterday at Tabors. And here we are today talking about it, dissecting it. What might be bigger news is that Ryan Minahan backs up his claims. He doesn't back him up fully. He doesn't win the entire thing. Comes in third place, has a good showing for his first ever time playing the course in the tournament. But Kirk kind of thinks he's kind of soft for kind of celebrating a top 3 finish, even though that is something to be proud of. I am joined today by not one but 2 of my regular co-hosts, Andrew Augustus and Blind Owl. How you boys doing today?
Oh, just living the dream.
Just another Monday. That's all it is. That's drinking and talking Kirk. It's great.
Just another Monday. That's right. Talking Kirk, baby. So right. We'll start off. Big news of the day. Kirk finishes top 5 at Tabors. It's a very difficult course. It was very hot. The conditions were against him. He played great. Cullinane put out a bunch of videos on Twitter. I don't know if you guys followed along.
No, I did nothing but follow along, unfortunately.
Seems like some people had some criticism, including one Rico Bosco, of how Cullinane didn't update after every hole on whether Kirk, is how many shots below par he is and things like that. Did you guys have any problem with how the content was put out?
I mean, he put a little comment with each video, so put the score. It's that easy.
Exactly. How hard is it? As Rico correctly said, how hard is it to say, oh, he's -2? It's simple. It's easy. And I know Maine doesn't have the best cell service, but you already been there once, Dave. You know what to expect. There's got to be backup plans. You had 2 phones. You can tweet out both at the same time. It's amazing.
Yep. So I guess like Dave said, just a learning experience. It did sound like Kirk is open to playing in the future and the next couple of weeks. There are a couple other tournaments in the American Mini Golf Association that come up. One is in Canton, Connecticut. There's another one up north a little bit in Maine. Sounds like Kirk's open to doing that. And I think that if Kirk really participates in these, and he participates in the majority of them, he really can be a top 3 player. I looked at how they score, and you get points for obviously how you finish. If you place top 3, you get bonus points. You get 2 bonus points per every single course you play in. Doesn't matter the outcome. So right now, I think Kirk has I think he has 10 points. He's currently tied for, I think he's in 10th place if once everything gets added up. But if he continuously comes in top 5, if these other players aren't able to do every single tournament, Kirk already has a leg up on the competition. I could definitely see Kirk walking away with the championship this year if he goes through with it and plays in these next couple of tournaments.
I mean, the best ability is availability. If he can go do it, just go do it and win.
Yes. So I'm excited. About that. Hopefully, the Mini fans seem to love the mini golf content. So hopefully Kirk is able to do that. I did see that they do have a couple other tournaments, I believe, happening. I believe one's happening in Missouri and the other is happening in Minnesota. But I believe those are at the same time as the one in Connecticut. So I think it's you choose one and that gets you. And then there's these different scoring, you can have white points and red points. It was kind of confusing. It was kind of confusing, but no, I think Kirk really has a chance at blowing up this whole association and just taking over it.
I mean, 5th place in the first time for second time at Tabors. He's showing that he can develop his game, and as we've seen with anything that he's put his mind to, if he does it when he says he's going to do it, it's going to be amazing. Did it with the Wilbur, did it with all the live shows up in Saco, Madawaska. You guys went down to Magnolia, so if he wants to be a mini golf champion, he's going to do it.
Yeah, so I'm definitely excited for that. So moving along. So today is the second show in a row. I know it feels like the last show forever ago when Dave was out. This is the second show in a row. We got a call from one Rico Bosco. I love it. I think he's a great weekly spot. People forget that he got his start on Barstool as a prank phone caller. He would just kind of call in to Francesa and all these different radio stations. He would call into Barstool Radio as Rico Bosco. He just has like these one-liners just off the top of his head, bang, 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 that he's just able to throw out. And these analogies he has are just top notch. And I really do think him calling in at least once a week is definitely almost a must-have at this point. I think he's proven himself to the Minifans. I love Rico. I'm a huge rider. I know Dave is out on him because he never sent a video for the Wilbur, but it sounds like that's created some tension, and Rico's kind of firing back. When he said today, he's like, I promise never to throw a canned beverage at anyone again. But Dave fucking hangs up on me. I'm gonna have to break that rule. I'm like, oh shit, this is serious. I mean, Rico takes his stuff very seriously. I think Rico's great. I'd love to see more of him. Whether it be, I don't know if we can get him in studio for one show. I think that would be a fantastic get. But just to have him there, and just to have him contribute, even if it be phone calls randomly that none of us are expecting, and Kirk just goes, Rico's calling my phone, is something that's very funny, and I think it adds to the. And that's a result of being live on YouTube. Rico sees the skip is live on YouTube, and he's paying attention to what Dave's. These little, normally on podcasts, you can get your little jabs in without someone responding, but if it's live on YouTube, Rico's going to respond. He's going to call in. He's going to defend the skip. He's going to let Kirk know that me and Dave are absolute morons, and and he's gonna fight back. So I think his quip today about the TV remote thing is very funny. I just want to see the more Rico, the better.
For me, I love the part when it you or Mike that asked if Dave hung up on him, and almost like Rico just knew, I'm gonna call right back in 2 seconds and just keep going. It was honestly the funniest. I had to pull over. I was laughing too hard.
I think that's why he fits in so well in this world, because he's just he's out there, and he just, almost similar to Kirk in a way where something pops in his head and he just does it.
Yes, he's the best. I think he's some of the best content Barstool has out there. But we got another Barstool guest today, and that is Alex Bennett. She called in today. We had some technical difficulties getting her on. We were going to use StreamYard. She blames Dave. Dave says it was on the side of Barstool. I have no idea what's true or not. All I know is she called in. She's promoting Rough and Rowdy. Gather the Minifans around. Buy Rough and Rowdy 18 August 19th. $30. Go to buyrnr.com. And sounds like it's going to be a stretch. It's going to be tough to get to 70,000. But I think if the Minifans do our part, we add a couple thousand pay-per-view buys to this, I really do think that it could be beneficial, and that this relationship between Kirk and Alex can turn into some good quality content, because she seems to be on board. She's in with the joke. Like Kirk said, you want to get in with the Minifans, shit on Dave, and that's exactly what she did. She just absolutely just was like, with her tweet about the technical difficulties, she's in, like Kirk said, she's part of the family now. And I only can just pray that we somehow get to 70,000, and that the show is able to go 5 days a week for the end of the year, for the final 3, or September, October, and November. That would be a dream come true. I mean, could you say, would that be the biggest thing another Barstool employee has done? If a Barstool employee gets Kirk to meet Bruce Springsteen, I think so.
I mean, maybe the job might be one thing, but I guess meeting Bruce would be the next biggest thing, other than giving him a job.
No, I think meeting, because Kirk could have gotten a job anywhere. He could have gone off on his own and made money in Barstool. But I think meeting Bruce Springsteen is like a once in a lifetime opportunity. I would think that maybe Kirk would put that above that. I mean, it might just be the the biggest thing in show history if Kirk gets to meet Bruce. He might be on such a high that I don't know where he'd go from there. But it's exciting.
May do 5 days a week just talking about that.
Yeah.
And I think we'd all love every minute of it.
Yes, we would.
So that's it. I will say Alex Bennett recently came out with an OnlyFans today. I subscribed to it. It's good. Everyone should go subscribe to Alex Bennett's OnlyFans.
Is it audio described?
Is it? No, it's not. I don't believe it's audio described. It's a couple pictures up there. She's great, but definitely just go to buyrnr.com, and because it's just great content. I mean, these people really do beat the shit out of each other. And my consensus, for what I've seen on Twitter and things like that, is that I think Bennett might be an underdog in this fight. For the most part, I've seen people say like this cupcake girl is like the real deal, and looks like she said, she might have fought beforehand. That's not great. That does not go in Alex's favor.
I thought that was part of the rules. You can't have fought at these things.
You can't have fought like professionally, but like I think you might have been able to go to like the gym and like spar with a couple people. Might be. I have seen that she runs like some sort of fitness class, so she's very fit. But I'm excited for it. I think it should be great content. I think the Minute fans are going to love it, and they're all going to back Alex through thick and thin.
Yeah, my Rough and Rowdy is always entertaining to watch, and especially now that we have a fighting interest in this. Let's go. Let's all get behind. I'm ready to roll for it. I'm excited. I honestly think, and what Kirk said is correct, is that how Cupcake reached out kind of behind the scenes.
Yeah, that sucks.
That's a
no-no.
Who's never been punched in the face, that's going to get punched in the face.
Yeah, but I also just think that's just you don't. If you're fighting someone, it's like when players, who pretend to hate each other do like a jersey swap after the game, and you see it, you're like, was this fake? Like, I hope this Cupcake girl legitimately dislikes Bennett, and I hope Bennett legitimately dislikes Cupcake girl, because it just makes for a better competition.
And if you're going to do the friend thing, do it after the fight, not before.
Yeah, before the fight isn't good. But I mean, great instincts by Alex Bennett, like bringing that up and kind of being like, hey, like I'm not for this. That's some great stuff. So kind of some I guess a shocking revelation happened over the weekend. Some people tend to think I slept in my car during the 12-hour car night challenge. Kirk's disappointed. He scrubbed it from show history. I'm not even sure if I should be talking about it right now. But it's I mean, it's not something that I'm proud of. I just don't think I was sleeping. I think I was resting my eyes for 2 seconds, and sometimes you take energy away from one of your senses. So I was taking energy away from my eyes and my nose by breathing out of my mouth while I was closing, and then so I could hear very well, so I could hear what was going back. I was kind of like Daredevil from the Marvel series,
Sure.
I was almost like a bat. Like I was, hitting off sonar, so I could tell what was going on back there. But yeah, that's tough. I mean, I guess I'm never going to shake the. It's tough, man. Like
we've all been there where you fall asleep
I said after the VFW I slept for 17 hours. I probably did, but I'm never going to shake the. Not stereotype, but
you slept. It's okay.
You fell asleep for 15
seconds.
I
did not sleep. I did
Not
not
at
sleep.
all.
Also, Andrew, it's fine if I were to sleep. It's fine that you think it's okay. But the only person that really matters if it thinks it's okay or not is Kirk. But he did come up with some ideas. Maybe I'll hibernate with a family of bears. I think that would be interesting for 4 months. A 72-hour stream where I just sleep. That would be depressing. Just be depressing.
Could you sleep with a camera staring at you that whole time?
You act like I haven't slept with a camera on me before.
I mean, you did for about 15 seconds, but
no, the July 4th stream, I took a nap.
Oh yes.
I definitely I could sleep with a camera on me, easy. But yeah, it was it's disappointing that Kirk thinks I slept, and hopefully I make it up somehow. And kind of one of the biggest takeaways, not biggest takeaways, the small takeaway from today is I really think, like Kirk's mentioned him a couple of times, Gearhead Mike goes to all these events. The nickname Nipples is all-time nickname.
No, I can't see him that well. Do his nipples protrude?
Confirm.
Yes, yeah.
I love
I
him.
think that.
He's a great guy. I've gone golfing with him too.
Oh, he's
Very
he's
nice
awesome.
guy.
I don't want to suck his
Right.
dick too much, but he's great. I've talked to him here and there, but he really
Apparently,
is.
somebody's been sucking
like
his nipples.
like Dave Sargent, like what else do you need? Like clear out, everyone, clear out. Kirk's description of his is great. Let's see what else we got here. Jalen Rose doesn't like the term Mount Rushmore, and I think Kirk's right. I do think we're going to see names like just more and more. Everyone's always said it's going to come to, it's eventually going to settle, and people are going to stop doing dumb shit like renaming Washington, statues and things like that. I just think more and more we're going to get all these different things just renamed. I mean, now Mount Rushmore, and so I looked into it, and like Jalen Rose's point was that the land that Mount Rushmore is stolen land,
Correct,
from Native Americans, and that like, so when people say like, give me your Mount Rushmore of Lakers players, it's kind of hurtful to like the Native American community and things like that. But I don't see that. But then again, I'm
By that logic, anything within the United States could be. You couldn't say any landmark in the United States. It was all stolen.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see about that. I am interesting because there are. Kirk did make a good point where there's like some things just aren't synonymous with names anymore. Like I used to think growing up, I thought Yawkey Way. I did not understand that Tom Yawkey used to own the Red Sox. When I was younger, I just thought Yawkey Way was just the way outside of Fenway Park, and then I found out later when everyone was going like, oh, this is racist because Tom Yawkey used to own the Red Sox and then he sold them to the Henrys. I was like, oh, that's why. So I do think that especially things like Washington or Lincoln, like they really can become just synonymous with other things. Like when I think of like Washington State, like George Washington doesn't come to mind.
Well,
No.
we've seen your history knowledge.
Yeah, you can suck my dick.
Yeah, it's one of those things, as you guys have said it. I think it's going to keep saying over and over again, and it's just, are we going to reach a breaking point? I don't know. I don't think we're ever going to reach a breaking point because like there's just going to get people just like, fuck it, we'll call it whatever we want.
I think it's when we're going to start seeing it with people are going to have to start changing their name because their last name is Washington. That's where I think it's going to be like, okay, why do I have to change my name?
I don't think they'll go that far. I don't think they'll go to the names.
I think they will.
So normally you might know that that when I'm doing the wrap-up show, my grandfather always watches TV like right below me, so I ask him to turn it down if he can turn it down a little bit.
Correct.
But tonight, Jerry Callahan, I believe, is on Tucker Carlson, but like Tucker is not on it, so I'm letting him blast it up. So in case some Jerry comes in through the speakers there,
It'll be good.
That's right. A couple other things. KFC kind of talks about the Alex Jones stuff. He deleted. So the tweet he deleted this weekend wasn't talked about on the show, but he deleted the tweet where it was like a car like running into a gas station, and it said like Marty coming back from 1955. And Dave thought that was like a Marty Mush joke, but I believe
that's a Back to the Future joke.
I believe he was trying to make a Back to the Future joke, and it just didn't hit. And it was like a car crash, and it seemed like people might have died in it. So I think just for just the sake of whatever car crash that was, he deleted the tweet. But yeah, his thoughts on I haven't really paid much to the Alex Jones stuff. I know he said like the Sandy Hook shootings were fake, blah blah blah, and now he's being forced to pay like $43 million to the families, which just seems like, I don't know. I mean, I guess the jury found him guilty, and obviously my heart goes out, but I just do think it might set like a tough precedent. But I get KFC. I get
Kirk said it perfectly. Kirk said it perfectly. It couldn't happen to a nicer guy, but
yeah,
it's hard to root for things like that when it could happen to literally anyone.
Yeah, and I do think KFC like toys this line where sometimes he says edgy things to try to get off, and then other times he's like, well, this is like he tends to like go up to a certain line, and anything past that line he treats as if it's nothing he would ever say. And Mike made a good point when he's talking about the Tiger Woods thing, where he's like, no, calling the Tiger Woods car crash a hoax. Some people would consider that libel and damaging. And I understand, the Sandy Hook thing is a trillion times worse, but it is on the same continent as the Sandy Hook stuff. So, I mean, you just got to be careful because of what you say, because these
It's
things
definitely that was
bite you in
definitely
the
based
ass.
on a pattern. Like Alex Jones has been saying that since whenever Sandy Hook happened, when
Yep.
2013. Whereas, KFC said it once and then said it wasn't a joke. I mean, it's definitely based on a pattern.
KFC's made a million of those jokes. I bet you if you went back and you found you went through all of his rundowns and things like that.
No, I
he's made
agree. But that's the difference, I think.
Yeah. So, anywho, that was a quick one. Dave's losing his hair. I have nothing to say about losing my hair. I've never lost my hair before, but you can tell it gets under his skin. I think
As somebody whose hair is on the way out, it's
yes.
I'm excited to hear who the new hair sponsor is going to be, so he can get his freebie to get it fixed.
He has hair plugs.
Dr.
Yeah,
Robert Leonard.
you can tell that Kirk picked this scab and is gushing blood. This is something that Dave takes very. I mean, he said it before. He's been a 9.5 since birth. I think he said there was a point in like middle school where he wasn't a 9.5, but then he jumped right back. 9.5. I think he takes his hair very seriously, and I think this is. You can tell it's serious because and it's not just like but like I think Dave is insecure about his hair, and Kirk really was able to pick that apart. We'll see where it goes. I personally. I don't think he's balding too bad, but what he said, he's 36.
God knows if that's correct.
Yeah, I mean it's it's okay. You lose hair when most men lose hair. Of course, I'm never going to lose hair, but like I will say, my father and my grandfather are both bald, but myself will have luscious locks. But yeah, no, Dave definitely seems to be like this. This definitely struck. This might be up there with like mother-in-law stuff of like hitting a real life.
It's
He definitely may be the most superficial person, because he's always saying it's a bad look. That's a tough look. I look good. This look good. It's always look with him.
Very vain Dave Cullinane.
Yes.
But like you can even tell by the way he talked about it. Oh, I got it tapered. I got it thinned a little bit. Like, come on.
I didn't know you could do that.
I just walk into the haircut. I go 2.3 or 2.5, whatever the hell my thing is. I forget. 2 seconds.
I go to this place by me and I just tell them, I'm just like, yeah, just make it look nice. Trim up the beard. I don't know. I
just tell my wife to use the one on the buzzers. I don't even go to a place.
Yeah, that's but I will say, so I did take off the headphones, and when listening back, I did hear Kirk say, like, text me it before. We'll see if it's worthy of being tweeted out. I had my headphones off when he said that, so that was on me. It was a mighty shame. Last couple of things here. You think it was
a little show?
Yeah, you think it was like, so I mean, we can talk about the Bill Simmons stuff. I do think that Kirk makes a great point where it's tough to get, like, if you want a live reaction, and I do think the best place for that right now, and the place I see it most with like live reaction to things, is Twitter Spaces. I do see like some Barstool personalities say like, hey, the Eagles just beat the Bears in this crazy game, and like Smitty will jump on like, we're going on Twitter Spaces, we're fucking talking about this right now. That's kind of like the closest thing we have to like radio. But yeah, he makes a good point where it's just like there's not a perfect way right now to kind of get out your podcast live if it's not on YouTube, and YouTube's kind of a bitch to listen to if you're in the car. I mean, you can get YouTube Premium where you're able to just kind of listen to it, but it sucks. So I don't know if there's anything you boys have to say about that.
I mean, really, social media in general has kind of taken over that whole space, because you can just go on Instagram Live, Facebook Live, Twitter Spaces, YouTube Live, and just talk about it. Whereas before, you had to go to the radio, you had to go to the car and figure it out. And even TV wasn't as instant, but now even TV is that instant. You can be watching highlights and then it'll pop up on TV. Yeah.
So that's that. Couple more things. I do think Cullinane saying this bitch about Alex Bennett was a little too far.
A little aggressive.
I was like, Jesus Christ, Dave. Like, to take a step back. But I just think that's how Dave and his friends talk. I do think, like, when Dave's at a wedding, he'll be like, "This bitch has had way too many drinks." She'll be like, "Hey," and she'll be like drinking. Like I just think that's like just how Dave talks in his normal life. He's kind of like, I don't think bitch has the same definition to Kirk as it does to Dave. So I do think he was trying to be like this fierce bitch. Well, like, you know, Kirk's had a history with that word. He refuses to call women that anymore. It's like a personal pledge he took to himself after the whole Aaron Andrews situation. I just think it's they both have different. Just one of those things where it's like, I don't want to say different generations, but like just different circumstances have led them to have a different definition of bitch when it comes to certain things like this. But I just think it was a little like, Jesus Christ, to hear Dave just be like, yeah, this
right off
shit.
the bat too. He just threw it out there. He's like, "Oh, this bitch." I'm like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, give it a second. What's happening here?"
It's one of those situations with Cullen. I love the guy, but sometimes he's got to think before he speaks. And I think it was one of those not thinking, just this bitch. And I think also what is part of it is like she actually, I think, got under his skin a little bit too with the dig of the audio of saying it was his fault. Like if Dave knows you, I think on a 1-to-1 level, you can get away with more than like if an Alex or even Rico, because I don't think he knows Rico that well as compared to he knows Kirk. So that's why he's
cool.
Thank you,
Showing on the
Cullen.
show that like Kirk and Dave are practically best friends at this point.
Best friends. Love each other.
But yeah, I just think it just comes down to they just have different definitions of the word bitch. So a couple other things. Kirk teased at some point the most ambitious Minahan/Minifan operation yet. I have no. I'm not even joking when I say I have no idea. I know Kirk is trying to. The show is trying to get a show March 25th, 2023, in like a Wilbur-esque style theater. This can't be that. I'm assuming it's probably going to be some sort of tour,
Cross-country tour, perhaps.
Perhaps that would be my guess. If I'm guessing anything, it would be a to California and back in 2 weeks sort of thing. But this is just me pulling things out of my ass. Is there anything like you guys thought of that it could be that might not be a tour? It could be something else. He said it's a Minifan collaboration sort of thing that a couple Minifans might die on. So it could be quite interesting.
I'm thinking like Woodstock, but just a bunch of Minifans of like, I don't know what, but just like everybody congregating to one area of just
like a field.
In a field of madness. There's going to be food trucks. There's going to be $29,000 food trucks.
That's a nice one to joke. Very. Yep. Go. Keep going.
There's going to be a Steve shooting range. He's going to run his own shooting range. He's going to come back for it.
Okay.
A dirty car you can sleep in.
And not only that, it's going to be 3 cars that people can sleep in, and they're going to be replicas of your car, Justin. That's what I'm expecting.
Okay. Well, I don't understand why there would be 3 of them, but it's
why not?
But yeah, no, I could see kind of like a gathering of the Minifans sort of thing, just in the middle of the woods somewhere in bumfuck nowhere, like in the middle of like Vermont. That'd be something. Yeah, who knows? I'm just thinking about just everyone just camping out overnight, and then also like if that's the thing, there's no chance Kirk would be a part of this other than the show. He would not.
No, he would.
Like he would not be camping.
Kirk would be at a hotel in Burlington where we're all in the woods.
Kirk does not seem to be a camper sort of thing, but that's just something interesting to keep your eye on. Last thing, Kirk said, the show's this week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then the show's off for a week and a half. So sounds like the week of the 22nd will be no KMS that week. So
the last week before a lot of schools go back, so they must be.
Yeah, so I'm sure he's doing something, or he's going up to Maine with his family, or something like that. But anything else from today's show you boys want to get into?
Love the live on YouTube, although it takes away my lunch listening because I listen to it in the morning.
You got to listen to it twice.
I did.
But, I was going to say it's the same thing for me. It's my ride home. It's what I do. It's either my ride in the morning or ride at night, depending on when you guys drop. It was a good show. I want more Rico. I'm blocked by him on Twitter for some reason. I don't know,
That's too bad. Yeah, you
It's
probably
okay.
did something you
I think
deserve
I
it.
might be too.
but
Yeah, you probably did something to deserve it too.
Yeah, probably.
you did.
So, okie doke. Well, thank you for joining me. Thank you to Kirk. Thank you to Dave. Thank you to Mike for a great show. And I will let's see any comments.
Oh God.
Someone says, "Yeah, just wish we knew how close we are to 70,000." I agree. I could see some fucking crazy ass, we're 1,000 away, and someone just runs in and just buys,
1,000 of them.
1,000 of them. But I do think the
$30,000.
majority of the purchases will be like night of. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Hopefully Dave gets hooked on hair plugs like Joe Buck did. That'd be great, Joe. Yeah. Dave just having like spending like $20,000 a year on just hair plugs.
He ends
Yeah,
up with a
bald
Bob
dudes,
Ross
so.
hairstyle.
But okie dokie. Well, like I said, thank you to Kirk, thank you to Dave, thank you to Mike, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.